All righty then. We have discussed exponents a bit already. Exponents exist in a variety of forms. This is what form? Exponential form. I want it in the other two forms. So repeated multiplication is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Because 2 is the base, 4 is the exponent. The exponent tells you how many times you multiply the base. Never am I multiplying 2 by 4. Ever. Even though at one point over the course of this unit, one of you is going to say that that answer is 8. You're just going to blurt it out, and then I'm going to look at you like this, and you're going to go, no, I mean, okay? It's going to happen. It's okay. All right? I understand the enthusiasm of 9th graders to get the right answer out there, as evidenced by the fact that I just put up half-hearted on the screen and 27 of you were screaming at the top of your lungs. Okay. So that is the repeated multiplication. Standard form is 16. Standard form is also what I mean when I say evaluate. If a question says evaluate, then I want a single number. No exponents. Okay? That's what evaluate means. Single number. No exponents. So what is the next one? Repeated multiplication, 5 by 5 by 5. Standard form, 125. Got it? Now, please remember, every one of you is super good at math all the time as long as we're using numbers. As soon as we bring letters to the party, I don't know what to do. No. Letters represent numbers. So anything that you understand with numbers, you also understand with variables. So the next thing, and you're going to write it in here by hand, is what would y to the fourth be? Y. Can you go any further than that? No, because you do not know what y is. This cannot be evaluated unless you know what y is. What if I said y equals 3? Could you then evaluate it? Yes. And then it would be 81. Got it? Everybody with me? Okay. So that means you should take about 10 seconds to fill in this chart. Look how nice that was. I just gave you 333. Yeah? Yeah. Now, the next mistake that people make with exponents is they don't actually take the time to understand the relationship between the base and the exponent. On Thursday, I went out of my way to do this at the beginning of this lesson. The base is anything attached directly. And I highlighted directly, didn't I? Yeah. So, when we get to this situation, what is the base? -5. The base equals -5. Now, I wish for you to evaluate it, but first I want you to tell me what the repeated multiplication is. What would that look like? Amshuman.
Bracket -5 4 times -5 4 times.
Yes? Yeah. Now evaluate it.
Positive 625.
Positive 625. Okay? Everybody Gouda? Great. What's the base here? No, Amshuman. No. Because of what I just said 2 minutes ago. Is that negative directly attached to the exponent? No, there's a 5 in the way, and there are no brackets. Brackets group. So the base here is 5. Yes, Amshuman? No. The base is the thing that is repeated. Yes? So in repeated multiplication, what is this going to be? But what does that forget? The negative. What this is saying is negative whatever comes after it. Okay? Does everyone understand that? Everyone seems to get it when we write it this way, right? And you all tell me you get it. So this answer is -625. Now the problem comes when we get to these questions, because nobody wants to actually write it out right now. So when I give them a question, they screw it up. What is the base in the first one? -1. Why is it -1? Because the brackets surround the negative as well as the numeral. All right? So that means the negative is part of the base. So when I write it out properly, it's -1 times -1 times -1, which is -1. Okay? Now, let's look at B. What's the base? 10. So it is 10 times 10 times 10 with a negative out in front. 10 times 10 is 100 times 10 is 1,000. So this is -1,000. Everybody Gouda? Great. Now, what is the base here? -7. So what is the thing that is repeated? -7 times -7 to get 49. +49. Now, here is where we get confuzzled. What's the base? Alicia. -5. So what is repeated over and over again? So it's -5, -5, -5, -5, with a negative out in front. So what is that? -625. Because that first negative tells you everything after it is going to be what? Negative, regardless of what it is. Now here is what I mean by it causing problems. -7 squared, -7 squared. What is the first answer? -49. What? Two negatives make a positive when you multiply them together. No. Because that is not what is happening here. What is the base here? 7. So it's only the 7 that repeats. The negative doesn't. What is the base here? -7. So the negative repeats. So it's negative times a negative. So this one is positive. Cool? Okay. Next, this one. -2 cubed. Oops, I wanted to do that blue. -2 cubed. Nope, we're back to the invisible, the stuff disappearing on us. -2 cubed. What is the base in the first one? 2. So what repeats? 2. 2 times 2 times 2 is what? 8. And there's a negative in front, so it is -8. Now, if you are following patterns and not really understanding what is going on, you should have noticed that when I put the brackets in with a square, it was negative, then it became positive, right? What's this one going to be? See? You think it's going to be positive, but it's not, is it? Because what's the base? -2. So it's a negative times a negative, which would get you a positive, times a third negative. So it is still -8. Picking up what I'm putting down? Okay, so that leads us to the next piece of logic. Negative bases if the exponent, that's what we're talking about, right? If x is even, what's your answer? Positive. If x, OneNote stopped working, really? When x is odd, what is the answer? Negative. All right? X is even, the answer is positive. X is positive. I did that first.
Oh my goodness. Why to the computer?
No, because it already made me say goodbye to a computer that worked just fine, so I could have this brand spanking fancy new one. Whiteboard never stops working.
You don't have any open. Yeah.
Where are all my notebooks?
Oh, click open. There you go. There you go. Oh, that's not one. There you go. There you go. Yay! Yay!
When x is odd, the answer is negative, yes?
Yeah.
But negative base to x is always what?
Negative.
That is always negative. because there's a negative out in front. It doesn't matter what the exponent is, because that negative sign says the next thing that you see is negative. Okay? Everybody understand? All right. Next. You should be able to follow this pattern. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Obviously, yes? So 3 to the 0. Now, what does that say? That is saying that we are going to take 3 and we are going to multiply it by itself. Not at all. Does that make any sense?
No.
I cannot write that out as repeated multiplication, can I?
Nope.
Because 3 is multiplying by itself never. Right?
Yeah.
So math guys had to be smart about this. This makes sense, yes? Divide, 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 divide. So what is 3 divided by 3? 1. Right? Now let's think about that for a second. Okay. It's math class. It works with 3. What if it was 5 squared? That would be 25. 5 to the 1. That'd be 5. So what would 5 to the 0 be?
1.
I'm still dividing by 5. So, if it works with 2 numbers in math, what should it always work with? Every number in math. So x to the 0 must equal 1. Everybody with me? Now the thing about exponents is they're like layered cake. You got to remember everything about exponents each time you learn something new. So before we go any further, let's remind ourselves of what we just learned. 6 to the 0 is what? 1, because everything to the 0 is 1. Right?
Yeah.
Now, look at B and tell me what the answer is.
No, 1.
1, because every base to the exponent of 0 is 1. Got it? Great. So what then is C? I haven't written it yet, Jack. Negative 5 to the 0. That is negative 1. Because the 5 to the 0 is the base. That's 1, but there's a negative out in front. So that's negative 1. Okay? Okay. So 8 to the 0 is 1. Negative 10 to the 0 is 1. 4 to the 0 is 1. But negative 4 to the 0 is? Negative 1. No fooling you guys. You're brilliant. Now, 10s are your friend. Why? Because we count in chunks of 10, yes? Decimals. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Place value. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. We do everything based in 10. Write this as a power of 10. So, if it is a power of 10, then what is the base? Have to be 10. You already know this shortcut. If 10 is the base, how many 10s do I need to get to 10,000? That gets me 100. That gets me 1,000. That gets me 10,000. So that is 10 to the 4th. Oh yeah, we need some lights out. Alicia, hit every red button. Thank you. What's the shortcut? 4 zeros, exponent of 4. So what's B? 10 to the power of 3. What's C? 10 to the power of 2. What's D? 10 to the power of 1. Do we ever write 1? No. And what's E? 10 to the 0, because that 0 makes it a 1. What if it was 7 trillion to the 0? 1. What if it was point 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 to the 0. 1. So, what is 5 to the 1? 5. What is negative 7 to the 1? Negative 7. What's 10 to the 1? 10. And what's 10 to the 0? 1. Excellent. That is where I wish... Check the time. What's the next lesson? Flip the page over. We'll knock this out of the park because it's super easy.
Oh, yeah. Stop doing that. Why? Because it's annoying. You feel it? You feel it now, Mr. Krabs? SpongeBob quote.
So, pre-diploma, Math 9, order of operations with exponents. Remember I said when we first did order of operation, we were only going to keep it squared and we were going to do more later? Here we are later. So, of course, I want you guys, obviously these are very easy ones, right? Why do I start with easy ones? Because the rules never change. If you actually understand the easy ones, then you know how to do it when it's difficult. So, what is this? 2 times 2 times 2 plus 1. 8 plus 1, 9. What's this one? 8 minus 9, which is negative 1. Now, what's this one? 8, because that is 2 cubed, which is 8. Because I asked you to evaluate, yes? So we still follow the rules. Now, the question becomes important. Must we remember everything we know about exponents? Yes. Must we remember everything that we know about rational numbers? Yes. Because what if I had negative or 8 minus 12 squared? What does that become? Negative 4 squared, which is what?
16.
Positive 16. See, the brackets are just like they were in absolute value and in regular rational numbers. I have to do them first, which got me a negative. Now, because these brackets were here, that negative is still the base. Do you understand that? What if I had e 8 minus 12 squared? Now what do I have? 8 minus 144, which is negative 136. Are you all good with that?
Yeah.
Because the base here is only the 12. Because exponents are all about the base.
That was the most annoying sound.
Yeah.
No, the most annoying sounds just Bieber's baby.
I did? Yeah. When?
Baby.
All right. So, again, this should take about 5 seconds. 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16 plus 3, which is 19. 5 squared is 5. 5. 25 minus 4, 21. Please notice how much of this you can do and should do in your head. What about this one? 3 squared, which is 3 times 3, which is 9. Why am I making you write it out when you don't need to? Because you know that 3 times 3 is 9. Because writing it out will make you act. No. You can learn it by memorizing patterns. Writing it out makes you understand it. There is a significant difference. Okay? You can all learn how to drive. That doesn't necessarily make you a good driver because you don't understand why things are happening. So what's this one? Because this is where it gets a little funky. -1 squared is the negative part of the base.
Yeah.
So it becomes -1 times -1 to get +1. That's another thing that messes kids up. For some strange reason, multiplying 1 by itself causes you guys a lot of grief. Not you guys, but a lot of kids. I don't understand it myself. Multiplying and dividing with powers. Please check this out. Where do I start in A? Okay, but I've got 2 exponents there.
The one inside
So I do the exponents inside the bracket first, yes? So what do I have there? I have 2 times -2, -2, -2. Is that base negative? Is the exponent odd? So the answer is -8. So I have 2 times -8. Right?
Yes.
And all of that is squared. What is 2 times -8? -16. Please notice that negative is inside the bracket. So when I square it, what will I get for an answer? Positive 256. Because, of course, we've memorized the first 20 squares, haven't we?
Yes.
Right? All right. What about up here? This looks funky again. Exponents first. So 7 squared is what?
49.
49 plus 5 to the 0.
1.
1 divided by -5 to the 1. Is that negative part of the base?
Yes.
So what am I doing? I am dividing by what? -5. So that becomes 50 divided by -5, which equals -10. Listen to me and listen to me closely. You are better served by doing this math in your head. Because if you try to punch it into your calculator, you're going to put a bracket in the wrong spot or a negative in the wrong spot, and you're going to get the wrong answer. Now, one of my favorite things about teaching a pre-diploma class is you guys, for the most part, trust your brain. Continue to do so. Using your calculator like a crutch to do stuff that's this easy is an incredible disservice to your mathematical abilities. Understand? Because it becomes, am I punching the right buttons? Not, am I doing the right math? Okay? So, go. Mr. Nair.
Did you know that my dad is a master hypnotist?
No, I did not know that. Wonderful.
Not like a stage hypnotist.
I understand what you mean. It is very cool. 5 times what? 3 times 3, which is 5 times 9, which is 45. What's this one? 8 times 8, which is 64 divided by 4, which is 16. What about here? 9 plus 1 squared, 10 squared, divided by 2, 100 divided by 2, 50. What about here? 10 squared plus 2 times 2 squared. So that is 2 times 4 squared. 10 squared plus 8 squared. 100 plus 64. 164. Don't go to your calculator until You need to. And there is no reason to at all. Do you understand? Now, this comes back to what some of the examples I gave you before. This is the, does Corin win the free movie tickets? Because technically in Canada, you can't win nothing for nothing. Or something for nothing. So you got to do something. So, how are we going to do this?
Order of operation.
Right, order of operation. Where do we start?
You do the exponent first.
120 plus 20 cubed.
20 times 20 times 20.
Which is 2 times 2 times 2, yeah?
Yeah.
So what is it?
800.
8,000. Now, because some of you did that, I would like to point out something. Isn't 20 cubed 2 times 10? All cubed? Right? Right? Yeah. Well, 10 cubed has to be 1,000, yeah? Michael. Yep. That's the next thing I was going to say. You don't have to think of it that way. You can go chunk by chunk. 8,000 divided by what? 1,000 plus 12 times 120. Now what? 120 plus 8 plus 12 times 120. What is it?
1,440.
1440, because 12 times 12 is 144 and it needs a 0. 128 plus 1440. 1568. Did Corin win the tickets?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. Now, you guys, tell me who's going on a cruise. You got 5 seconds. Go.
Did. I'm going on a cruise. 6.
5 seconds is done. That is 10 plus 90 minus 25, which is 75.
I was close, I said 6.
You were very close, thank goodness. Who's taking me on their cruise with them?
Me.
Liar.
6.
You're not taking me on no cruise. All right. From your outline, we have now covered both of these.
Oh, we have a quiz, don't we? Oh, no.
Obviously, that quiz will not be tomorrow
Oh.
It's today.
Friday.
because I need to make sure you actually know how to do these, yeah? So, tomorrow we mark these or go over them. We start on these notes. Our quiz will be Woden's Day.
Wait, so we have those many pages on the textbook?
This is the textbook work.
That's a lot of work.
It isn't. It looks like a lot of work because you haven't opened your book yet. These are questions like 2 squared, evaluate it.
Oh!
Michael. Sure, except weren't you one of the people that needed more time with the test? All right.
How many minutes?
So you guys have quizzle.
What's Kabul?
What's
What is
Kabul?
behind?
Kaboodly-hind is what I call quizzes in another class.
I thought that was Kabubachin. Chien, that's a god. Where is it this come from?
Yes.
The power of math.
Yo, Carly. Guess what Derek just said? We just said how could chicken cube.
Wow, you're making comedy, guys.
Why is he dead? Brother? Grade 10. I've
Well, like
Yeah.